r/ask Reddit. What is cheaply made but sold at a ridiculous price? College textbooks on their 2nd to 100th edition. It's annoying because they could keep the same textbook and allow students to pass them on to the next generation of college students, but no. They have to create a new book each time and make it a requirement to have that new book. What's even worse is that on some editions, Pearson just gives you your textbook without binding. Just ducking paper, like the pages are in a loose paper pile. At least they give you punched out holes so you can put them in a binder. But for duck's sake, $130 for this shit? Cheap pricks. Oh, and having to pay like $80 for online access. That only lasts for the semester, not permanent ownership. I hope they die out soon. Printer cartridges. Out of ink? Guess I'll just buy a new printer. Any cable, USB, HDMI etc. They cost pennies to make. Company I used to work for would give us cables at the price they purchased them for. I would get HDMI and cell phone cables that would retail at $15 to $20 for around $1 to $2. This is where most electronic retailers make their money. Computers and TVs have very little markups, but cables and accessories, and financing and services, are where they make their money. I worked at Best Buy and their employee discount was 5% over cost, so it was pretty easy to tell what was being marked up quite a bit. Carbonated beverages and popcorn are what keep restaurants and movie theaters in business. Movie theaters, I fully understand, but restaurants? Are you referring to chain restaurants or all restaurants? All restaurants that would offer fountain drinks. I used to go to a game store that had a decent soda fountain. You could pay $5 for unlimited soda for the night. I talked to the owner and asked how he manages to run a profitable game store when no other game store in the neighborhood succeeded. He told me that the $5 fountain deal single-handedly gets the store to turn a profit, and the games cards he sells are only there to get customers in the door and play D&D Magic at his store. Food costs a lot, but soda's ducking pennies for the store selling it. At a certain point you'll see restaurants transition towards selling alcoholic beverages over sodas because alcoholic beverages have even higher profit margins. But naturally there's certain barriers of entry, clientele, licenses, market, that just aren't there with sodas, which is why you don't see booze at every restaurant. Makeup. That shit is produced cheap, especially the high-end brands. That's what that Kardashian did. Bought a makeup company and jacked up the price just by putting her name on it. Baby clothes are marked up by 1000% on average. No kidding. Buying clothes at Christmas for my niece, nephew, and stepson was flooring. Now we have another one on the way. I'm hoping hand-me-downs will be like 90% of the clothing we have for it. Insulin. It's criminal how much they charge compared to the manufacturing costs. Sodium chloride IV bags in hospitals in the United States. It costs less than $1 to make, but hospitals can charge over $200 plus per bag. $500 per bag, or so I have seen on medical records. Bottled water. Damn. I feel like it's more expensive than we think. Filtering and legal work and such, but yeah, for sure. As someone from a country where water from taps comes from the same place as the bottled water comes from, I'm pretty sure they are definitely raking in the money. Glasses. I watched a video on the sunglasses I wear industry in middle school economics, and we've been scammed this entire time. I'll never forget learning that the movie theater I worked at paid $5 for a 24 pack of Dasani bottles. We charged $4.50 for one. The movie theater near me has a Starbucks built in with the same prices as other nearby Starbuckses. It's the cheapest drinks at the theater. EP pens. They cost like $2 to make and then are sold for like $150. Paid $400 2 years ago. Barrettes. Hair clips and other bits of plastic that hold your hair in place. I get these at dollar stores because the high-end pharmacy is charged way too much. Pharmacy is charged way too much on everything. Ibuprofen at a hospital. Yep, we just went and got this bottle from the dollar store for $4. Oh, that patient needs 2 of them. Sure, charge their bill $88. Your dollar store might be included in this list if a bottle costs $4. New build houses in the UK. built by the lowest bidder, to the lowest standards possible, crammed in so densely that two detached houses can be less than 18 inches apart. The biggest scam is that the developers try to sell the house, but retain ownership of the land that it's built on, then charge rent for the land. For this shit they want a minimum of £350,000. Leasehold really is a horrible concept. Diamonds. Natural diamonds are made for free in nature and harvested using slave labor. Lab-created diamonds still cost 45% less. Grey Goose vodka. Most fast fashion. A pair of jeans that costs $4 to produce but costs $40 for you to buy is a 1000% markup. I got a pair of jeans when I visited America. I paid maybe $30 for them and wore them for 10 years. Best jeans I've ever owned. They were threadbare by the time I was ready to part with them. I wasn't ever able to find the brand online when I wanted to replace them. Wish I'd gotten multiple pairs. Perfume or cologne, imagine how much it would be in the liters. Oh. Chrysler made a prototype turbine-powered car in the 1960s. It wasn't very efficient, as no turbines were in the 60s, and they bragged that they had run it on Chanel No. 5 at a car show in France. That had to be the most expensive liquid fuel any motor vehicle ever ran on. Glaucoma eye drops. About $379 for a tiny bottle of the prescription treatment. You could fly to a country like India and get a bunch of bottles, same if not better quality, and fly back and it would save you money. Would have to be like a dozen or more, but you get the point. Those $350 Nikes cost maximum $20 to make, shipping included. Oh, and the $1,500 ones also cost about $20 to make. Most luxury brands with huge obvious logos on them. Men mattresses, especially memory foam ones. Volkswagen ignition cylinders. When I worked at VW, we had to constantly order ignition switches because either they are cheaply designed or cheaply made. So when we would place the order from Volkswagen North America, it gets shipped directly from the manufacturer, either Huff or Valeo, and they would include the invoice in the box. Well, VW would charge the dealerships $99.95 and set MSRP at $129.95. The invoice from the manufacturer to VW showed cost to VW being $14.95. French fries, chips, whatever you want to call them. McDonald's buys its potatoes at around 20 cents to the pound. You can get about 4 medium fries, $1.79, out of a pound of potatoes. Even if transport, labor, and other overhead triples the cost, that's still a profit margin well over 1000%. Margins on soda are even higher, while burgers and other items have more ingredients and complexity and are thus more expensive to produce. Wedding cakes. Wedding cakes, anything related to a wedding is double to 10x the normal cost. A lot flipped houses. Be careful when looking at recently remodeled houses. Most of these are cheap flips with nothing more than some new paint, flooring and appliances. It becomes very apparent when you actually view the house in person and the doors don't close right, the windows are old, and everything just feels cheap. Face masks. I would imagine it doesn't take much to make 15 of them, and with the virus, they have jacked the price up. Literally everything these days. Shit's made to break faster. Popcorn at movie theaters is, I think, the most expensive commodity. McDonald's fountain drinks. Anyone's fountain drinks. The product cost is around 3 cents and the cup is around 10 cents. For most restaurants, drinks help balance the food cost for more expensive items. Cigarettes in Canada, almost and often over $20 a pack. I'm on day 2 of quitting. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.